Now let's learn how to crochet the daisy. It consists of the daisy and the calyx. Let's start with the daisy. We will use a new stitch technique, which is the single crochet 2 stitches together. Please watch the demonstration. Before we start crocheting, let's learn the proper posture for crocheting. For convenience in watching, I will demonstrate using cotton yarn in different colors. For specific yarn, color schemes, and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and the paper instructions. First, let's start with a magic ring. Pick up the yarn tail with your right hand. Wrap it twice around your left index finger. Now there are 3 strands on your left index finger. Pinch the overlapping part of the loops with your right thumb and index finger. Take it out. Then, wrap the yarn tail once around your left little finger. Insert the yarn between your middle finger and index finger. Transfer the loop to between your left middle finger and thumb. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand. Insert the hook into the loop. Position the hook to the left of the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise around the hook. Draw the yarn through. Now there is 1 loop on your hook. Continue with a chain stitch to secure. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through the loop. One chain stitch is completed. Slightly tighten. Note: the loop on the hook should not be too tight, otherwise, it will be difficult to crochet later. Like this, the adjustable magic ring is completed. Begin the first round. Before working, you can cut a piece of yarn, about 15 centimeters long, and set it aside for later use. Then make a chain stitch as the turning chain for the single crochet. The turning chain for the single crochet does not count as a stitch. Then work a single crochet. Insert the hook into the large space of the magic ring. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. There are 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again, and draw through both loops on the hook in one go. 1 single crochet is now completed. At the top right of the single crochet, there is a V shape formed by 2 yarns. This V shape is the stitch of the single crochet. 1 stitch represents 1 hook. Pay attention. When you finish the first single crochet, slightly enlarge the loop. Then take the yarn tail you cut earlier. And thread it through the stitch of the first single crochet. This marks the position of the first stitch. After completing, continue with single crochets. Insert into the large space. Yarn over, and draw the yarn through. Yarn over again, and draw through both loops on your hook. The second single crochet is now completed. You need to work a total of 5 single crochets in the first round. Continue crocheting. 3, 4, 5. After that, close the magic ring. Move the completed section to the right. Pay attention. Pinch closer to the edge. Don't pinch the inner loops, or it will be difficult to pull the yarn tail through. There are 2 loops here in total. First, gently pull the starting tail. There will be 1 loop that is still movable. Tighten this moving loop. leaving one last loop. Then directly pull tight the yarn tail. Like this, the loops are now closed. Next, at the stitch of the first single crochet, which is where the yarn tail is located, make a slip stitch to join. Pay attention, this is the chain of the starting chain. Skip it and do not crochet. Insert the hook. Yarn over. And draw through all loops on the hook in one go. One slip stitch is completed. This V shape is the braid formed by the slip stitch. The slip stitch does not count as a stitch. Slightly tighten it, otherwise, it's easy to crochet too many stitches. Everyone, look, the first round of the daisy is now complete. Continue with the second round. Start with a chain stitch for the beginning chain. The starting chain for the single crochet does not count as a stitch. In the same insertion point as the previous slip stitch, make a single crochet. Place the starting yarn tail above the crochet hook. Weave in the ends as you go along. When completed, in the same first stitch, mark it. This makes it convenient to find the slip stitch position later. Next, in the same insertion point, make another single crochet. Don't forget to weave in the ends. This completes 2 single crochets into the same stitch. You can see that a short needle increase is made by working 2 single crochets in the same insertion point, which is equivalent to increasing 1 stitch. Continue in the adjacent stitch on the left side. Work another short needle increase, meaning in this stitch, work 2 single crochets. Don't forget to weave in the ends. 1, 2. The second single crochet increase is now completed. The crochet pattern for this round involves working 2 single crochets into the same stitch, evenly into the stitches from the previous round. Follow this pattern to complete the remaining 2 single crochets into the same stitch. After finishing the last 2 single crochets into the same stitch, bring this yarn tail to the front. Which is the side facing you? Then, in the first single crochet stitch, make a slip stitch to join. Insert the hook. And pull the yarn through all loops at once. Slightly tighten it. As you can see, the second round is now completed. The side where the starting yarn tail is located is the right side of the fabric. For each subsequent round, keep the right side facing you. Additionally, after completing a round, you can check the stitch count. Count the stitches from the position of the yarn tail. There should be 10 stitches. Continue to the third round, and refer to the pattern chart. Start with making 1 chain stitch, then work a single crochet into the first stitch. If you can't tell where the first stitch is, continue to mark it like this. For the rest of this round, work single crochets into each stitch from the previous round. All the way down. After completing them, join with a slip stitch. Pay attention, since the next round requires a color change. Therefore, you need to break the yarn here. Then make a slip stitch to secure it. Pull up a large loop. Leave a tail of about 10 centimeters. Then cut the yarn. Pull tight. This essentially creates a secure knot. The yarn tail should follow the texture of the fabric. Hide the tail on the wrong side. You can also weave in all the ends. This way, the third round is completed. Continue with the fourth round. First, join the corresponding color yarn. For convenience in watching the sample, the colors are random. Make a slip knot with the yarn. Slightly tighten the loop. Leave about 10 centimeters of yarn tail here. Then insert the hook into the front loop of the first single crochet stitch. That is, this strand of yarn. Draw the loop through. Make a chain stitch to secure. Tighten the yarn tail. The joining is now complete. Refer to the pattern. Crochet 4 chain stitches. After completing, locate the bar between the second to last chain stitch. That is, this strand of yarn, at the center of the wrong side. Make a slip stitch. Note, the solid dot in the oval shape on the chart indicates that the slip stitch should not be tightened. The solid dot in the circular shape indicates that the slip stitch needs to be tightened. This will not be repeated in subsequent instructions. Continue on the bars between the next 2 chain stitches below. Make a slip stitch in each. For ease of explanation, we will refer to this set of 4 chain stitches and 3 slip stitches as one petal. Next, at the same entry position, where you join the yarn, which is on the front loop of the first single crochet stitch, make a slip stitch. Then, work the second petal, that is, make 4 chain stitches. And starting from the second chain from the hook, work slip stitches correspondingly. The second petal is completed. Next, on the front loop of the adjacent stitch on the left side, make a slip stitch. Then work one petal. Next, before crocheting each petal, make sure to start with a slip stitch. The slip stitches are always worked into the front loops, and each stitch corresponds to 2 petals. You can see that one petal has already been crocheted into this stitch, so you need to crochet one more petal. Everyone, follow this method. Continue crocheting. After completing the last stitch position, you should have exactly 20 petals. Once all the petals are completed, join with a slip stitch at the same insertion point where you joined the yarn. After joining, make a chain stitch to secure. Pull up the loop, and leave a tail of about 10 centimeters. Cut the yarn. Pull tight. Hide the tail on the wrong side as well. I won't demonstrate this part. You can now remove the marker thread for the starting position. There you go, a small daisy is completed. Next, follow the same method, and refer to the pattern instructions. Complete the remaining small daisies. For the calyx, follow the chart to crochet. Note that for the third round, you need to crochet with wire included. When completed, it will look like this. Then align the 2 ends of the wire. Insert them into the center of the calyx. Thread the reserved yarn of the calyx into a darning needle. Sew the calyx to the remaining half stitches of the third round of the small daisy. Take another piece of yarn in the calyx color. Wrap 6 to 9 centimeters of the wire. Secure and fasten off the yarn at the end. Follow this method to complete the remaining small daisies. Once done, take 5 small daisies to form one large daisy branch. Wrap the remaining wire with yarn as well. That concludes the making method for one large daisy branch. Complete the rest of the small daisies. Next, we will make roses, including the leaves, calyx, flowers, and assembly. First, complete the crochet work for each part. Finally, assemble them together. Start by crocheting the leaves. We will start from the foundation chain. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise from there. During the process, weave in the thin wire. The new stitch techniques used include treble crochet 2 stitches together. Please watch the demonstration. Before we start crocheting, let's learn the proper posture for crocheting. To make it easier for everyone to see clearly, I will use thicker yarn for this demonstration. The colors are random. For specific yarn, color schemes, and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and the paper instructions. First, cut a piece of thin wire about 30 centimeters long, and set it aside for later use. Begin with a foundation chain. Pick up the yarn with your right hand, wrap it around your left little finger. Thread it through between your middle finger and index finger. Then pinch the yarn tail with your thumb and middle finger. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand, move the hook between these 2 points. Place the hook underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Left thumb and middle finger. Pinch the crossing point of the loop. Put the hook on the left side of the yarn. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. This slip knot does not count as a stitch. Slightly tighten. Adjust the size of the loop. Now, start crocheting chain stitches. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. 1 chain stitch is completed. This kind of braid represents 1 stitch. Continue crocheting chain stitches. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. This is the 2nd stitch. Repeat this process, and continue to finish the remaining chain stitches. 3, 4, like this. The beginning chain is completed. Now let's work the first round. Make 1 beginning chain. Then in the second to last stitch of the beginning chain, insert your hook into the top half loop, and make 1 single crochet. That is, the second to last braid from here. Insert the hook. Insert the prepared thin wire. Place it above the hook. Weave in the ends as you go along. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Now there are 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again. Draw through the 2 loops on hook. 1 single crochet completed. We can see a V-shaped stitch on the right side. This is the stitch of a single crochet. Next, on the chain stitch on the left side, insert the hook into the back loop, and make a single crochet. Insert. Pay attention to wrapping the thin wire. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over again. And draw through all loops on the hook. Another single crochet completed. Move downward. Continue to insert the hook into the back loop of the left side chain stitches, and make single crochets in sequence. Keep working until there is only 1 chain stitch position left. Reach the designated position. Now, there is only one chain stitch remaining. Crochet 3 single crochets in this last chain stitch. Then rotate the piece. You can see that, on this side, there are 2 strands of yarn left at the chain stitch positions. Work down these 2 strands of yarn. This means working in the same entry position as the single crochets on this side. Slightly adjust the wire to make both ends roughly the same length. Then work single crochets, making sure each one corresponds. Pay attention not to insert into the same entry position as the top 3 single crochets while working on this side. You need to wrap the wire and the starting yarn tail together. Crochet 2 single crochets in the last chain stitch position. Then join with a slip stitch into the first single crochet. Insert. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. And pull through all the loops on the hook. Slip stitch completed. This is the braid formed by the slip stitch. The joining slip stitch does not count as a stitch. You need to tighten it. This way. The first round is completed. Now move on to the second round. Start with 2 chain stitches. Then, in the second stitch of the previous round, work 1/2 double crochet, yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over, and draw the yarn through. Now you have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, and draw through all 3 loops on the hook. 1/2 double crochet is now complete. Then, make a CH1 picot. First, chain 1. Next, pick up the strand of the 1/2 double crochet stitch closest to you, and the strand on the left side. Make a slip stitch. Yarn over, and draw the yarn through. Draw through all the loops on the hook in one go. The slip stitch is now complete. This is a CH1 picot. From now on, we'll just call it a picot stitch. Next, work a double crochet in the next stitch on the left. Yarn over. Insert the hook. Yarn over again. And draw the yarn through. Now you have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over once more, and draw through the first 2 loops. Now you have 2 loops remaining. Yarn over again, and draw through in once. 1 double crochet is now complete. Then make a picot stitch. Start with 1 chain stitch. Then pick up the strand closest to you, and the strand on the left, and make 1 slip stitch. The picot stitch is now complete. Then work 1 treble crochet in the next stitch on the left. Yarn over the hook twice. Insert. Yarn over, and draw the yarn through. There are now 4 loops on the hook. Then yarn over on after another. Draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat this 3 times. Once. Twice. 3 times. A treble crochet is complete. Then make a picot stitch. The next stitch is a treble crochet 2 stitches together. First, make 2 incomplete treble crochets. Yarn over the hook twice, insert into the same stitch below. Yarn over, and draw the yarn through. Then yarn over on after another. Draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat this 2 times. This makes an incomplete treble crochet. Then move on to the second one. Yarn over the hook twice, insert into the adjacent stitch. Yarn over, and pull the yarn through. Then yarn over on after another, and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat this 2 times. This is the second one. Then yarn over, and draw through all 3 loops on the hook. That completes the treble crochet 2 stitches together. Next, make a picket stitch. Start with 1 chain stitch, then hook into the front loop only, along with the 2 strands on the left. And make 1 slip stitch. Next, make another treble crochet 2 stitches together. Start in the same stitch below, and the adjacent stitch, by making 1 incomplete treble crochet in each. One, 2. Then yarn over, and draw through all loops on the hook. That completes the treble crochet decrease. Next, make a picket stitch. Next is a special cluster stitch. First, make an incomplete treble crochet in the adjacent stitch. Then, make an incomplete double crochet in the left stitch. Yarn over. Insert the hook. Yarn over again, and draw the yarn through. Yarn over once more, and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. This completes the incomplete double crochet. Then yarn over, and pull through all the loops on the hook. The special cluster stitch is now complete. Next, make a picket stitch. Then work a double crochet in the adjacent stitch. Follow with another picket stitch. Then work a half double crochet in the left stitch. Yarn over. Insert the hook. Yarn over again, draw the yarn through, then yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. A half double crochet is complete. Next, make a picket stitch. Then work a single crochet in the adjacent stitch. Work a single crochet in the left stitch. Followed by a chain stitch, and then work another double crochet in the same stitch. Finish with a picket stitch. Make a chain stitch. Then work another single crochet in the same stitch below. Continue working downwards. Pay attention to this special cluster. Start with an incomplete double crochet, followed by an incomplete treble crochet, and complete the remaining stitches. On the last stitch of the previous round, work a single crochet increase, which means making 2 single crochets in the same stitch. 1, 2. Single crochet increase completed. Then, in the first stitch of the previous round, join with a slip stitch. Tighten. Next, make a chain stitch to secure. Leave about 5 centimeters and cut the yarn. Pull the yarn tail out. Tighten. 1 leaf is now completed. Everyone can use this method to crochet the remaining leaves and set them aside. Next, we will crochet the calyx. We'll use the magic ring method. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise from the starting point. Please watch the demonstration. Start with a magic ring. Pick up the yarn tail with your right hand. Wrap it twice around your left index finger. Now there are 3 strands of yarn on your left index finger. Use your right thumb and index finger to pinch where the loops overlap and take it out. Then, hold the yarn with your left hand. Insert the hook into the magic ring. Position the hook to the left of the yarn. Yarn over, and draw the yarn through. Now you have 1 loop on your hook. Continue and make 1 chain stitch to secure. Pull tight. This way, the adjustable magic ring is completed. Next, move on to the first round. Make 1 beginning chain. Then, work 5 single crochets into the magic ring. After that, close the magic ring. There are 2 loops in total. First, gently pull the starting tail of the yarn. You can see that 1 loop is still active. Pull tight the active loop. There is 1 loop remaining. Directly pull tight the tail of the yarn. This way, the loop is closed. Next, finish with a slip stitch in the first single crochet stitch of this round. Pull tight. This way, the first round is completed. Next, crochet round 2. Make 1 beginning chain. For this round, insert the hook into the stitches from the previous round. Work 1 single crochet in each stitch. Everyone complete this round. Pay attention to tightening the yarn tail. When completed, join with a slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch. Pull tight. Round 2 is completed. Now, let's work round 3. Make 1 beginning chain. Then, in the first stitch of the previous round, make a 2 single crochets into the same stitch. 1, 2. Single crochet increase completed. Continue to insert the hook into the stitches from the previous round, and work 2 single crochets into the same stitch sequentially. Complete this round. After finishing the last stitch, join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet stitch. Pull tight. That's it. Round 3 is now completed. Next, let's work round 4. Make 1 beginning chain. Then work 1 single crochet. Next, work 2 single crochets into the same stitch to the left. For this round, you will repeat the sequence of 1 single crochet and 1 single crochet increase. Refer to the chart to complete this round. Once completed, join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet stitch. Pull tight. That's it. Round 4 is now completed. The side with the clearer texture is the right side. When crocheting, keep the right side facing you. For rounds 5 and 6, pick up the stitches from the previous round. Work 1 single crochet in each stitch. Everyone complete these 2 rounds. When crocheting, don't forget to start with a beginning chain, and join in round with a slip stitch. Look. This is what it looks like after completing round 6. Next, we'll work on round 7. Start with 8 chain stitches. Then pick up the half loop on the left side of the second chain from the hook. Make 1 slip stitch. Then work 1 slip stitch in the half loop on the left side of the adjacent chain. Note that these 2 slip stitches should not be tightened. Next, on the remaining 5 chains, work 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, and 3 double crochets in sequence. After completing this, skip 2 stitches, and then work into the 3rd stitch from the left. That is, the 4th stitch of the previous round. Work 1 slip stitch. Continue with the same stitch pattern on the right side. Start with 8 chains. Then, from the second chain from the hook, work 2 slip stitches, 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, and 3 double crochets in sequence. After completing this, skip 2 stitches. Work 1 slip stitch into the 3rd stitch on the left side. Follow the demonstration here. Refer to the chart to complete the remaining part of this round. Finally, work 1 slip stitch into the 1st stitch of the previous round. Then make 1 chain to secure. Leave a tail of about 20 centimeters and cut the yarn. This way, a calyx is completed. Now let's work on the flower. We will start with a foundation chain. Work back and forth along the foundation chain. Then crochet each petal separately. After completing, roll it up and sew together to form the flower shape. Note that there is no color change between the first row and the second row. Change colors when transitioning from small petals to medium petals. Also change colors when transitioning from medium petals to large petals. The new stitch techniques used include double crochet increase and DC 3-in-1. Now I'll demonstrate the crocheting method using a solid color. Remember to change colors when you follow along. Start with a chain of 16. After completing the foundation chain, work the first row, make 3 chains to start, which count as 1 double crochet. This corresponds to the last chain of the foundation chain. Next, make 1 chain for transition. Then, work into the second to last chain of the foundation, which is the 6th chain from the hook here. Work a double crochet. Then make 1 chain for transition. Next, work a double crochet into the left chain. For this row, you will work double crochets into the foundation chains, following the sequence of hooking double crochets. Between each double crochet, make 1 chain for transition. Follow this pattern to complete the remaining part of this row. This way, the first row is completed. Now let's work on the second row. Start with 3 chains as a beginning chain. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. These 3 chains count as 1 double crochet. It corresponds to the last double crochet of the previous row. Then make 7 chains for transition. Next, work a double crochet into the second to last stitch of the previous row. Work a double crochet. Since this row is crocheted on the wrong side, the stitch corresponds to the braid above the double crochet on the left. That is, these 2 strands of yarn. Then make 7 chains for transition. Next, work a double crochet into the adjacent stitch. Make 7 more chains for transition. Continue to work double crochets into the stitches of the previous row. Between double crochets, always make chain transitions. This forms these chain spaces. For the first 6 spaces, crochet 7 chains each. For the 7th to 10th spaces, crochet 5 chains. For the last 5 spaces, crochet 3 chains each. The last double crochet is worked into the 3rd braid of the beginning chain. That is, the 2nd braid on the right side of this stitch. Pick up these 2 strands of yarn. Once done, make 3 more chains. Then turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Next, on the 2nd to last stitch here, make 1 slip stitch. Look. This is what it looks like after completing the 2nd row. Now start on the first small petal. Begin with 3 chains. Then from the 2nd to last chain, pick up the left side half loop and make 2 slip stitches. Then rotate the piece counterclockwise, keeping the hook stationary. The yarn tail is below the fabric. After rotating, it looks like this. Now start the first row of the small petal. Make 1 beginning chain. Then insert the hook into the same entry position as the 2nd slip stitch you made earlier. Which is where these 2 strands of yarn are. Make 1 single crochet. Then in the same entry position as the slip stitch above, make 3 single crochets. Next, insert the hook into the same entry position as this slip stitch, and make 1 single crochet. That's it. The first row is now complete. It consists of a total of 5 single crochets. Now let's move on to the second row. Make 1 beginning chain. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Then insert the hook into the last stitch of the previous row, and make 1 single crochet. Next, work 2 single crochets into the same stitch to the left. Continue with 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets into the same stitch, and 1 more single crochet. That's it. The second row is now complete. Let's continue to the third row. Make 1 beginning chain. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Then make a 2 single crochets into the same stitch, and 1 single crochet to complete the sequence. The third row is now complete. Next, let's move on to the fourth row. Make 1 beginning chain. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Then work 2 single crochets, 2 half double crochets, and 1 double crochet. After completing that, the next stitch is a DC 3-in-1, that is, work 3 double crochets into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3. The DC 3-in-1 is now complete. Next, work 1 double crochet, 2 half double crochets, and 2 single crochets. After completing the last single crochet, turn the workpiece. Enlarge the loop on the crochet hook to prevent the loop from slipping off. Then insert the hook into the last double crochet stitch of row 2. Insert it into the loop that was left. Draw the loop through. This way. Row 4 is now complete. Continue with row 5. Work 1 slip stitch into the last stitch of the previous row. Then work 1 single crochet, and 1 half double crochet. After completing, check the stitch. A stitch looks like 2 strands of yarn. The strand closer to you is the front loop. The strand farther from you is the back loop. Next, pick up the back loop of the left stitch. Work 1 half double crochet and 1 double crochet. Then pick up the back loops of the next 5 stitches on the left side. Work a double crochet increase, that means working 2 double crochets in the same stitch. After completing, pick up the back loop of the left stitch, work 1 double crochet and 1 half double crochet. Next, pick up the remaining 3 stitches. and work 1/2 double crochet, 1 single crochet, and 1 slip stitch. Then, pick up the 3rd stitch of the 2nd row, and work 1 slip stitch. Row 5 is completed. Everyone, look, this is what a small petal looks like when it's done. Now let's work on the 2nd small petal. First, make 3 chain stitches. Then, starting from the 2nd chain from the hook, work 2 slip stitches. Next, rotate the fabric. Pay attention to the yarn tail, it should be underneath the fabric. Then start working on the 1st row. The 1st row is completed. Continue referring to the chart, and work all the way down to the last single crochet of row 4. After completing it, turn the work piece, and stretch it. Release the loop on the hook. Then insert the hook from right to left through the previous petal's starting chain. At the starting point, pull through the released loop. Then continue with row 5. Pay attention to the stitches in the middle, which are worked into the back loop only. Finally, pick up the next double crochet stitch, and make 1 slip stitch. This way, the 2nd small petal is completed. There are 4 small petals in total. Follow the demonstration for the 2nd small petal, and complete the remaining 2 small petals. Next, we will work on the medium petals. There are a total of 7 rows. Note that the medium petals are connected to the starting point of the previous petal, after completing the first 6 rows. That is, each petal is connected to the previous one before working the last row. So, each petal is connected to the previous petal before working the final row. Connect it with the previous petal at this point. First, complete the first 6 rows. Now, work on row 7. Work all the way to the end of the previous row. For the rightmost stitch of the DC 3-in-1, Reach the corresponding position on the middle stitch of this DC 3-in-1. Work 2 double crochets first. Then make a picket stitch. Followed by another double crochet in the same position. Continue to complete the remaining stitches. This way, one medium petal is completed. There are a total of 4 medium petals. Everyone, complete the remaining 3. Next, work on the first large petal. Similarly, finish the first 6 rows first. Continue with the 7th row. Work the second DC 3-in-1 first. Then make a picket stitch. Continue to complete the remaining stitches. Look. This is what a large petal looks like when completed. There are a total of 6 large petals. Everyone, continue to complete the remaining 5. For the last slip stitch, pick up the 3rd chain of the beginning chain and crochet. Then make a chain stitch to secure. Leave about 25 centimeters and cut the yarn. Next, sew the rose motifs together. Thread the darning needle with the reserved yarn tail. Then align the last row of each petal with the right side facing you. Adjust the shape of the petals. Then turn the workpiece over. Start rolling the small petals to the right. Roughly align the beginning chain stitches. Make sure after rolling, the last row of each petal has the right side facing out. Then secure the bottom of the motif. First, connect it slightly with the adjacent petal. Then pass the yarn tail underneath. Sew back and forth a few times to secure. After completing the sewing, pass the yarn tail next to the yarn tail for the starting chain. Tie 2 knots to secure. Trim off the excess tails. Now, the flower is completed. Next, we'll assemble it. First, take out the flower stem and calyx. Insert the flower stem through the center of the calyx. You can use a crochet hook to widen the center a bit first. Then take out the flower. Insert it onto the flower stem from the bottom. Mind that the stem doesn't show above. Then insert the sewing needle into the reserved tail of the calyx. Sew the bottom of the flower to the calyx. After sewing securely, tie off and weave in the ends neatly. Next, take out yarn in the same color as the calyx. Wrap around the base of the calyx along the stem. Apply a bit of glue at the beginning. Wrap for about 3-4 centimeters. Then take out a leaf. Wrap it together. Continue wrapping for another 3-4 centimeters. Then add the second leaf. Keep wrapping downwards. Cut off the yarn. Make sure to glue the end of the thread securely so it doesn't unravel. This way, the rose branch assembly is completed. Now, let's move on to the overall assembly. First, take out the flower basket and floral foam. Trim the floral foam to match the shape of the flower basket. This will allow the floral foam to fit snugly inside the basket. Place a sheet of wax paper on top. I'm using parchment paper as a substitute here. Once it's roughly flat, take out the prepared flower branches. Arrange the branches according to your preference. Finally, take out the small bee. Sew it onto the flower branch. Attach it in any position based on your preference. There are no specific requirements for the sewing method, just make sure it's sewn securely. Up to this point, we have covered the entire product. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.